Welcome to another DORKLAIR Collecting live stream. It feels like it has been forever because we had the last episode with Nikki on it. And that was like that was the day before the Figura drop. And so
Yep.
to me, that now feels like so long ago, but it really was just 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks.
right? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
How you doing, Larry?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm as like I was talking about earlier, I'm old age is kicking in. The presbyopia or the myopia or whichever opia my eyeballs have, I'm starting to depend more and more on the glasses, and I freaking hate them, man.
We
So sick of them.
we
But
just had the
anyway,
whole old
oh my
man
gosh.
eyes fading talk
So
in the
I'll retell
pregame.
this for the benefit of the folks listening because they'll get a kick out of this. I was telling Bill I wore glasses growing up, and then I stopped wearing them in high school whenever I passed my driver's license exam without them. So I didn't wear them for years. And then a couple of years ago, when I turned 46, now my birthday was in January. Between that January and June, my near vision just crapped the bed. And one evening, I'm in the kitchen and I'm in the cupboard, and with your phone, if you want to blow the screen up, you do your thing with your finger like that. You spread to blow the screen up. I'm trying to read something on a label, and I couldn't read it. And I reached down and I did like I'm trying to expand the screen
On a cardboard box.
exactly on a cardboard box. And I turned around, my wife was like, saw that. I was like, okay, I'm not arguing anymore. I'll go to the doctor. So I went to one of my customers the next week and got the corrective lenses. But now I'm depending on them more and more and more. But it's just, man, it's too bad we got to get old. It really, really is.
I've done that on computer screens where it's just a laptop, and, and I'm trying to slide the screen, but I'm touching this a non-touch screen.
We've become like symbiotes with our screens. So
Oh my God, we are cyborgs.
we really are. Joe Rogan says that all the time. He's like, you don't need Neuralink. We're already attached. These things are literally surgically attached to us. So
Yep.
this has been one of my smaller weeks for pickups. I got that big pile of loot a couple weeks ago, and I've got another one that's going to be coming pretty soon. It seems like the last couple of weeks has just been a huge Batman dump. But a very notable thing that happened to me this week. I found my first variant figure in the wild. I've never in my years of collecting found a variant in the wild. So a few weeks ago, I got the Ichiban Hulk Hogan for his days in Japan. And this standard release had the black knee pads and the gray boots. And then the Chase variant, and I don't have the t-shirt or the sunglasses on this one because I wanted to look completely different. And I bought a custom IWGP belt on there. It's not the same belt that he won in 83. It's the current belt, but until I can get one, this is a placekeeper. But the Chase has the blue boots and the red knee pads, which he wore a couple times in the WWF with the yellow trunks. But, it's really, they've done a great job with the sculpt, to make him look like the late 70s, early 80s Hulk. So I'm really, really enjoying the little odds and ends on this line. But my big pickup for the week, something I knew I was going to love, but love even more. This is the YOLO Park AMK Megatron model kit, which I've talked about the YOLO Park stuff in the past. I got the 3-0, the 3-0 has the great deluxe figures that don't transform. These are essentially the same thing. They're just on a smaller scale. So I got the YOLO Park Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee or from the Rise of the Beasts movie. Great figure. Got this Megatron Generation 1. The posability is incredible. The likeness, as you can see, the likeness is incredible. Yeah. It comes with a bunch of several different face plates. It has battery ports where you can put the little thin batteries to light up the eyes as well as the cannon. The posability on this thing's incredible. The Optimus Prime should be dropping soon. But if anyone out there is on the fence about these things, they're wonderful. They are great. Like if you just want a great G1 Megatron Optimus Prime, they said Starscream's coming. They said, YOLO Park said, I think Robo mentioned this, that they said they've got something like 10 releases lined up over the next year or two. So they're looking at 1 or 2 a quarter. And so this is not going to be one of those lines where they do a Prime, a Megatron, a Starscream, a Bumblebee, a Soundwave, and then move on to the next thing. They've got this line planned to go deep. And, you know, if you're like me and you want a great G1 version of something and you don't necessarily need your Transformers to transform, that's worth it. I think I paid $50 for it on Big Bad. It's worth
that was what I was going to ask, is how those are around 50-ish,
50 or 60, something like that. Yeah. And honest to goodness, worth every penny. They've got some die cast in them. They're really durable. And even though it's a model kit, you know, I've got a lot of those Flame Toys model kits. Is it Flame Toys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of those, and those really feel like model kits. You cut them off the sprue. You have to file things down. They're very lightweight. Got to be careful with them. You put these together, it's just like you have a very durable action figure. And I think the reason they're doing these as model kits is because every time Hasbro puts out the license for Transformers, it's going to be something different each licensee. That's why Super 7, all of their figures of that scale of G.I. Joe look like the cartoon, and Hasbro's, you know, so everything's going to be a little bit different. So I think that's how they get around that. They call it a model kit. It's really a snap together.
Right. Just a workaround.
Exactly. And the Optimus Prime has way more parts. I watched the video review that Robo did on both of these together, and it's got a lot more parts, a lot more flexibility, a lot more posability. And they're really doing a great job with all things Transformers. I know last time I had to get off early because I had early morning the next day. Did you get to talk about that missing link Prime at all?
Yeah, I mean,
I know I mentioned it, but
we talked
didn't
about
really
it a little
go
bit,
into
but
it.
I didn't really come back to it too much. No, we talked about the figures that like Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, right? Like we talked about those.
Yeah, those are up for pre-order. It's just, I mean, that's just another thing that's indicative of what Hasbro, Takara, and their licensees are doing with these properties. We're getting the versions of these figures that we always wish we had. And in a way, it's kind of weird because we're getting to a point where I'm like, okay, we've got, with that Studio Series 86 line, you've got the most accurate thing to the movie next to Masterpiece, which we have masterpieces for the animated and for toys and for the Bay movies. So you wonder, what are they going to do next? What in the world are they going to come up with? So it seems like they're moving now into some of the more obscure stuff, like the HasLabs were, was it not Star Convoy? One of the other convoys. Yeah, it was not Star Convoy. Oh, crap. I can't remember which one it was. One of the convoys. And then they did something else from one of the Japanese shows. And then the Commander class from this line is the Magmatron, which is arriving tomorrow. So I think they're really going to start expanding. They're doing more Armada, more Energon, and those types of things. So if you're Transformers fan, it's an awesome time to be one. I mean, I can say that for any line, like the wrestling stuff. I never thought I was going to get a freaking Hulk Hogan 1983 Japan figure. Give me a break. Very deep cut. So it's an awesome time to be a toy collector. But I think you said you had a big haul this week.
I did. Yeah. I do want to, before I get too far ahead, mention that we've got a super chat from Kevin Boots. Thank you for the $4.99. Hello, DORKLAIR. Hello, Kevin Boots. What is going on? And we also have 10 gifted memberships from Joe, of course.
Thank you, Joe.
And we did have a thank you about that. Somebody, Charlie Birch, thank you for the gifted membership. So you have Joe to thank for that. So awesome. A couple other people in the chat. Let's see here. Hedgehog Action, Oh Snap, KJ Smith, Joe Collects, Jeremy Govier, Sorry, it's Govier, right? And then we got Sean County, Ghost 09, Joe A Collects. Just Shelve It says, YOLO Park sounds like an Adrenaline Junkies challenge.
Or a challenge for someone that doesn't mind emptying their wallet because they got a lot of stuff coming.
We got Legends Collector. What is going on, dude? Michael Carter, Jeff Evans, TJ Williams, Steve Wegling, the first 58. Josh Brown. We're going to come back to Josh in a little bit. I got a little giveaway going on. So Josh Brown's custom parts are going to be involved in that. We'll come back to that. Blake is in the house. What's up, Blake? Blake got his t-shirt. I saw a few other people saying they got their t-shirt.
Yeah.
I think let's see, Rob's maybe said he's wearing his. Somebody said that they're wearing theirs. I saw it earlier. Wearing it tonight. Did you get your shirt in, Larry? Did it arrive?
Yeah, I mentioned it on the chat
Oh,
with
okay.
Chris
That's right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's right.
showed it to Steph, and she was like, "I didn't realize until I laid it down and looked at it that it spelled, DORKLAIR there in the thing." And then I was explaining to her the little iconography and all that, and she thought it was really cool. She's like, because I was like, I never shut up about Warduke, and she was like, I know.
We got
So
Cloud.
yeah, it's really cool.
Cloud in the house. Eric Munoz, Curtis Ackerman, and Seth, and Rick Jones. And let's see, I think that Kevin Dufresne, Laura, Thomas, and I want to say that's Kevin McCoy, and I thought I saw Tanya. Tanya McCoy is here as well. And last week I was on the Legions ladies, and that was an awesome time. That might feel why it feels like I don't know. It just feels like I should have recorded since. Like it feels like the last 2 weeks ago was so long ago, and maybe because I've been on so many lives, and I was on the Legions ladies last week. It just feels like it feels like I
you
had
kind of had a lot
since
going
then.
on.
Yeah. Jordan is here. Straw Hat, Tony. All right, Benji. Okay, that's a lot. And yeah, so let me get into my pickups. So this is actually going back to that same weekend. So the weekend of the Figura drop. Of course, I got Figura. I had it in hand last time. I just couldn't talk about it. But that weekend was the Shop to Curiosity toy show in Connecticut. And it was awesome. It was so good. It was such a great show. I basically hung out at the Biblical Adventures table with Chris like the whole time, and then right next to us was Dan Larson at his table, and so like we were kind of hanging out all day. Dylan, who's here, was also there, and then Josh, who I don't know if he's watching now, but yeah, there was like a little crew just kind of hanging out all day. It's the kind of show that like you just like I was like Alf shopping. Like I don't know if people remember this, but like these old little candy containers, like remember these things?
Yep.
Just these cheap little like blow mold candy containers, like little things like that. There was a lot of like good little Alf. I got a keychain, I got a little figurine. But then I did make some trades with oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm gonna come back to that. But I did at the Horseman's table pick up. Where are they? So at the Horseman's table, I did pick up. No, not him. Sorry, that was in the trade. I did pick up Kador, who was one of the mystery box figures there. And then I picked up a Fury Orc. Now Kador I don't have. Because I never got Kador. So that was like a pickup to fill a hole. I have a couple Fury Orcs, and so this was just like a no-brainer because the armor's awesome. It's got the red parts. It's just an awesome one. And for some reason I'm drawing a blank on who I made a trade with. For some reason I can't remember the name because I'm thinking about other things right now. So hang on a second. It was, oh my god, Jacob. Sorry, it was Jacob Forna. Jeez, I can't think and like talk at the same time sometimes. Anyway, so Jacob Forna and we did some trades, and we kind of like, it was actually a long time ago we did the trades, and then we were like, we'll just wait till Shop the Curiosity. And so I got from Jacob, actually he just threw this in. Like this was super nice. This is a Black Knight, one of the coolest, most poppable, swappable, just definitely one of the best figures. And then I also got from him a an extra Thalen Frostbow, which is super cool because I got a swap that I want to do in my next video. And so I have an extra Thalen handy for that. It's a swap that, who did the swap originally? I'm trying to remember who did it. I want to say Chris Ferrone did it originally, but people will see it in my next video. Maybe my next video, maybe the one after that. And then I also got a what's his name? Veterus, Lord Veterus, who is the Joe Viteri tribute figure.
Ooh.
So that kind of completes my Joe and Jeremy set right there. I had a small little pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store that came in, and so I got Spirit. These were parts of the sales. Remember all the Big Bad Toy Store? Like,
yeah.
I feel like the sales haven't been quite as like punchy lately. They're still going, the daily sales, but I got Spirit for, I think it was like 18 or something, $16 or something like that. And then I got the Last Ronin figure for, that was like $20, I think, just to kind of add to my NECA collection. That's the only Last Ronin figure I have. But yeah. Oh, the other thing I got at the show was Dan Larson's Glyos figure. So this was the Toy Galaxy. It's like Toy Gear or Galaxy Gear 01 or whatever. And this is the first in a like a line that he's going to be doing with various Glyos creators. They just announced the second one.
I didn't realize they had their own thing going.
Yeah, I mean it's a collaboration type thing. The first one was this is the Mighty Maniacs line, and then the next one he's got going on is Toy Pizza. And next week I'm gonna go later, 9 o'clock after the ladies, and I'm gonna have Secret Gear. That's what it is. SG01 Secret Gear 01. And it's funny, I have the box right here. This is the packaging. He is putting out more. He's sold out of these, but he's gonna have a second run of this exact figure over the summer, just with different packaging. But there's the box for the Mighty Maniacs Secret Galaxy, the SG1. And then the next one he did is another character he had created when he was a kid, and that's a Toy Pizza. But we're gonna have Jesse on next week so that he can kind of promote his he's going to promote his Toy Pizza Expo. Toy Pizza Con is now Toy Pizza Expo. But yeah, kickstarted that was a good Kickstarter. I think I backed for 4 or 5 figures on that one. Dark Hawk. Yeah, his own Dark Hawk, which is hard to say without sounding weird. All right, let's see. All right, so let me pull down that banner and pull up the news stuff. Okay, so the most recent, this is probably the most recent thing that they've talked about, and this is just a shipping update. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. So they have finished shipping the Figura stuff. Like, I think I got I ordered so I bought another set at Shop the Curiosity where they had it for sale, and then I ordered 2 more, and those shipped. I feel like this morning or maybe yesterday afternoon or something. So stuff is like I think yesterday the last pallet went out or something like that. And then Cosmic Legions Outpost Zaxius, which previously only the all-ins went out. Now the rest is there, and all of the orders are going to start shipping. That's probably going to take a little while because there's like a variety of different kinds of orders and stuff. They updated the Necronominus one. They were hoping for mid-year. They said probably pushing more like end of Q3, something like that. Retailer Wave also Q3. And then there was one more little tidbit. They said the the Necronominus themed All Stars 6 wave will like go into production right after the Necronominus wave finishes because it's a lot of the same parts, and so those will those will like probably also hit this year as well. So after the Necronominus stuff. Mobius got my Egyptian god set really quick. I almost got a second set. Yeah, like that's like the trap. If you get it really fast and early, and you open it up, you're like, okay, this just blew my mind. Do I want more? Because they're still available.
That's how they get you.
They finally did sell through that second like drop of them. They had a second weekend drop, and they did sell through those. Kevin says his order of 5 pilots just shipped. And Steph says Toy Pizza Expo. Wow. And that's down, I mean, that's down New York area. I don't know how far that is from Jersey, but I know it's in New York. All right. Okay, so we have that. We got the shipping update. And then I will talk about this a little bit. I did do a video. It was a very off the cuff. Like I just want to get my thoughts out there, because if I try to do a fully recorded one and like really like plan it out and do my research and all that, I was thinking I may not get it done in time, and then it would be like putting all this effort into a thing that, because I wanted to do it before this drop. So I just kind of winged it, and it was pretty good. It was a fun little video. But I've modified a little bit. I kind of spent a little extra time today thinking about it, but, this is the tomorrow drop, not a drop, but it's going to be like a full on pre-order. So Mythic Legions wave called the Ashes of Agbendor. And they're going to have a big reveal special tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on their YouTube channel. And then right after that, and they're expecting that to end about 9:30, the wave will go up for pre-order. Okay. And so we've got some little like lore tidbits. First of all, we have this image of flames and burning, right? Ophidian. Now, a lot of people are calling out that Ophidian has a root word connected to serpents and potentially dragons and stuff. This word has been it's been like part of Legion's lore for many years, because this is the region of the convocation of Basilia. This is the name of that kingdom or whatever. So that, and then Agbendor. I think Agbendor is a little more recent, because that's the name of the tower, or the library tower, the Mage's Tower. So, just for the start, we just kind of have this sense of like, okay, so here's this fallout from this battle, and then we have this. I'm going to read it. In the aftermath of the Second Great War, the legions of Dark have been defeated, but the price paid was a steep one. Many of the realm's greatest heroes have made the ultimate sacrifice, and those who remain are left to rebuild their shattered world. Back in Ophidian, an old wizard combs through the charred remains of the library. As Agbendor's new master of records, he works to salvage the great knowledge once contained within the library's halls. He also begins to record stories of the most recent battles, for those who will rule the mythos of tomorrow must know of the heroism and sacrifice that helped win the Great War, and which ended the rise of the Dark Four. Now, to kind of like pick through this a little bit, and I highlighted that last couple sentences. Well, first of all, when I initially read this, I swear it didn't say new master. I swear it didn't say that, but then it does. It says new master. And the old master was Samir. So I thought they were talking about Samir, but apparently it's not Samir. So one question and one kind of like initial reaction I have is like, okay, like this amazing place, this library, which is to me as a teacher, like, books. I'm an English teacher, like libraries, like that is to me like devastating. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty major lore drop in this little teaser, right? And so then it also suggests to me, if it's the new master, that then Samir is maybe dead or something, right? But to really, when it gets to like the wave itself, I look at this last couple sentences. He also begins to record stories of the most recent battle. So he's chronicling what happened in the past. So even though we're getting this like future jump and we're after the war, right? Like we've all been waiting for this book, the what is it called? The Rise of the Dark Four Volume 1 book that Jeremy's writing and they're going to be publishing. And like we've all been sort of like experiencing this through the figures and this whole story of like this second rise of the Dark Four after having been banished and the return through the Covenant of Shadows. And so to go like this and like to jump past it is interesting, but really it's just like, okay, so let's frame the story with this aftermath and then we'll tell the story of what happens through this character, this new master, right? And so he's going to tell the story of the heroes of these prior battles. For those who will rule the mythos of tomorrow must know of the heroism and sacrifice that helped win the Second Great War, in which ended the rise of the Dark Four. All right. Some information. I mean, we already kind of went over this top stuff. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., the stories will begin to be told. I think what we're going to see here is a wave announced tomorrow. And then throughout the month or so of the pre-order, we're going to see narratives dropping, and the website will have narratives like they've been doing with Cosmic Legions, but now finally they're going to kind of tell the story throughout the pre-order period on their site. That's pure prediction. That's just speculation, but like that's kind of the vibe I get from this, right? Of course, they'll talk about the characters and the events and things during the live stream. But yeah. And then it says the pre-order will start right after the live stream at 8:30. I think I said 9:30, but yeah, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then we hope you will be able to join us next week as we look at, and this was written last week, so this week, some of the warriors of light and of dark who have fought in the great wars of mythos. So it's not just recent characters. Like I feel like they're hinting at characters who've been around for a while and they've been through multiple wars. And we're talking about good guys and bad guys. So there's a lot here to me that suggests a looking back, a retrospective. This is the what is it? The 10th anniversary of Mythic Legions and the 25th anniversary of Four Horsemen. So I kind of feel like there's a looking back going on. A lot of people are predicting that this will be a not an All-Stars wave, but the thing that replaces the All-Stars wave could be a wave that's heavier on version 2s. It might not be all version 2s. Maybe it's half version 2 characters, half brand new characters or what have you. But I took some time to go back and look at. So there was about a year ago, there was an All-Stars 6. And I made a list of characters who were not in the All-Stars 6 vote, because they've talked about the reasons why they would take something off of a vote and not make it eligible for a vote would be because they have plans for it in the future. So anything that was not on there, I didn't put on this list. And then I also limited it to up through Advent of Decay. Okay, so anything solicited after Advent of Decay is not on this list. And then nothing that has had a reissue is not on the list, including the stuff that was reissued in the mystery wave. So this is what I came up with in terms of characters that I think could be eligible for reissues. So kind of take your pick your poison. The top 4, the first 4 on the list, Otho, Thord, Urzak, who I got wrong in the video. I was confused. I always confuse Urzak and Urku. Urku is a builder. Urzak is a main character. And then Valgar. Like those 4 are like original wave figures. So those are like the oldest, probably the most sought after on this list. and then a lot of Advent of Decay stuff. I think everything else except for Aetheron, the bird on the bottom, is Advent of Decay. I didn't put Coliseum. I know Coliseum actually dropped. It actually like shipped before these, but it was solicited after. I just had to draw a line somewhere, like in terms of mentally, like what I think. I think Otho is like he's huge. So a couple little story plots. At some point in the lore, the hammer of Leosir is actually captured by the Legion of Erethyr. So I kind of feel like in that book we could potentially see Otho go and try to retrieve that. And then that could be the thing that like maybe he hands it off to Atlas or something like that. But yeah, so I see. I mean, he is such a major character that I feel like that is a huge one. They've also talked about Otho having, being like a character that they've purposefully held back because they want to do something with him in the future. Same thing with Urzak. So I kind of feel like those two are pretty high. Thistlethorn is like, I didn't have him on the thing, but as I thought about it more, like he's pretty major. So one storyline with Thistlethorn is he is the relic master of the legion of like the elves and the forest creatures and stuff, Xylonia's flock. And so in Xylernia, in that Castle Silverhorn, he kind of like is the keeper of rare objects and weapons and things like that. And he sort of like guards them. One thing that's at Castle Silverhorn is the Etherblade. So the Etherblade sword, like Gorgo sword, Erethyr's sword, is there at the time of the Covenant of Shadows. So they talked about in the Covenant of Shadows story attacking that first. So like I feel like Thistlethorn is like up there in terms of lore and like yeah. And then so Tanya asks where Asterion is, and I had him on my list, but then I realized he was on the vote last year. He was eligible for the vote last year, so I'm kind of thinking maybe they won't. I hope they do, because he's super important there too. He actually defends the castle with his maze, right? His Minotaur's labyrinth. He defends that same castle that Thistlethorn's at. So I kind of like, I hope I'm wrong about that one, but I just left him off because of I set a little rule for myself because Asterion was part of the vote last year. I'm going to check the chat a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, there's some other side combos going on, but yeah, that's Asterion. So yeah, I mean, I also think a couple characters that could have some great potential would be, well, Hera Serpentspire is a faction leader. Like she's a main one. So I mean, just based on that seems logical, but like Hera and Juno and Urxa, Queen Urxa, the female orc in the middle, and Juno right below her. Those three could be really great options for that Neve body, that new 1.0 female body that the Frost Elf is on. Like that, I feel like one of those three should be in it. Like I think that they need to use that on one of those three. Urxa's story is really interesting because she's kind of like leading a rebellion of orcs to leave Erethyr, right? Even one of her orcs is in the convocation. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw some of those out there, and people can kind of think of stuff. And then in terms of what else they did, I made my slideshow before they actually put it up, but they did put up a little teaser here. So let me share a screen. I'm going to share this and stick that up here. So up here, they have a little teaser, and so you have a new figure in this image with a new staff, which is the Basilia staff, very similar to Hera Serpent Spire, what she would have. She does have some purple, right? So, I mean, this could be a Hera version 2. It could be just some other Basilia wizard, right? It looks like it's got kind of that Altar Solovian type, more gauzy hooded cloak type thing. So it could be reused there. Not much to go on here. Could be anything really. I mean, it could be a Snake Man under there. Like, we don't know. We don't see anything. We don't see the hand gripping the thing. We don't, yeah, right, Thomas. It could totally be a non-human. It could be. If it's anything, it's the Snake Man based on the Cosmic Legions. I forget what it's called, but that like lizard type race. Thraxian, is that? Maybe not Thraxian. Maybe it is. Maybe not. And then Brick says, I'd love Hera 2.0 and a 1.0 while we're at it. Yeah. And that I mean, I'd want, so like a version 2 and a version 1, and also a 2.0, which is the original, and a 1.0, which would be on that new body. Winged Serpent is Basilia. Now, I don't think Basilia is the dragon. I don't think they're going to be like, all right, here's the dragon. It's Basilia is the dragon. Like, I don't, but like, like the winged serpent is something a little bit different. But there are some people who look at that burning village. Let me go back here. They look at this burning village, burning city, right? Tower. They look at this and they think dragon, fire breathing, which is a perfectly reasonable conclusion to make. Like, what could cause that? Now, it could be that a dragon caused this fire and that we're only going to hear of the dragon causing this fire in this wave, and that the dragon could come later if they're going to do the dragon. Or maybe it's the dragon. Maybe the dragon. I don't, the way Eric was talking in the last live, I personally don't think it's going to be the dragon tomorrow. Looks like a hedgehog to me. All right. So yeah. And I will also say this. I put them on just because they fit my little rule I set up. But I don't think the faction gods are going to be in it. I don't think I feel like there's another place for Aetheron to version 2 and a version 2 of Xylona. Like, I don't think this is the place for them, because this is talking about like the heroes of these battles, not the gods, right? Like, so I feel like this is maybe not the place for those. They may hold those back maybe until they have the other two, right? We don't have Leodicius, and we don't have, what's the other one? There's another one that I can't think of that we don't have. Yeah, Dragon feels like a big finish. I'd be okay with a dragon because I could save money and I don't have space for it. So yeah. Yeah, save the dragon for G-Con. I could see that. This is an interesting one. A catapult, I could totally see they've been doing in Cosmic, they did some Dio parts and stuff in Figure Obscura. They've been doing Dio parts. I could totally see them doing some like larger Dio parts in Legions. Sean says he still wants Bromden. Yeah, and you know what? Like, I left certain ones off of here, but I still think they could be fair game. I think Bromden could be fair game, I do think it's less likely. I feel like that's one of those ones that still feels awesome, and it still feels like a complete awesome figure. It's more of like one that maybe would be fitting for a reissue and not necessarily a version 2. So maybe they'll come back to that when they eventually come back to All Stars, but yeah, that figure's awesome and that character is really cool. Steph did a working catapult. That is right. He was firing stuff off at Legions Con last year. And Morgulith being a favorite pick. Yeah, and that's when it's like I would totally be down with Morgulith. She's a huge, pretty big hitter character wise. it fits in with this year. This is the year of Necronominus. Like, it would totally fit in. Like, it would not surprise me at all if we got a Morgulith tomorrow. I only want one, and you already have her. Let me have her. What is Rob talking about now?
Maybe it's something earlier in the chat.
Something must have been something earlier.
Yeah, gotta be.
If Mythic gets a dragon, does Cosmic get a spaceship? Maybe for its 10th anniversary in 2028 or whatever that would be. All right, let's move on. Shirts. So the response has been amazing. This is also something that was like that last episode 2 weeks ago, and then the whirlwind of that weekend with the drop. And I sold a bunch of shirts at the show, and people bought them from me, and I shipped them out to the point where I'm now sold out of shirts. Dave is working on getting me the next. They might ship today or tomorrow, so these could potentially be here as early as next week. My resupply of shirts. I do have a little list of people who are kind of reserving for the next drop. Some sizes have been selling out really fast, like extra large and 2X. Like those two sizes in particular sell really well. So I tried to like beef up that supply of those on the second round. And so we'll see how it goes. But if you want a shirt, email me at podcast@dorklair.com. And I'll put you on the list to reserve. When they get in, I'll email you. They're $20. And then once they come in, I'll email you and you can pay me then. The $20 plus shipping. Typically, it's just $5 more if you're in the U.S. If you're outside of the U.S., we'll figure it out, like whatever the shipping is. And just a reminder that, first of all, Dave Orkin, who's in the house right now. He printed the shirts and they came out great. And the design is by David Williams, and it's awesome. I love it so much.
Very cool
It's one of those shirts where it's like, it's not just the logo of the show. I see some of those and it's like, that's cool. And it like reps the show, but this feels like it goes beyond the show. And it's just like this cool, it's a dungeon map. It's like, it's not just a brand logo. It's like a cool hobby thing that people are into as well. So kind of hits on many levels. And yeah, Dave does awesome work. Both Dave Orkin with the awesome quality of t-shirts and David with the awesome quality of art. And then just some shout outs before we get into the giveaway. So again, I only can pull up those 6 recent, but these are most of the ones that were from last week with the super chats. Thank you again, Curtis, Rob, Kevin, just super generous, and it keeps the wheels moving. And the shirts as well, like buying the shirts, it helps. It's a couple of dollars profit, and like it helps to like keep things rolling with the DORKLAIR. So I very much appreciate all that support. And then all the channel members here, got that list going still, and I did update it today, so this should be current with the new channel members. So thank you all for doing the channel stuff. I may be able to do a member stream this Saturday. I gotta see what the family schedule is like, but I typically like to try to do one every once in a while on a Saturday morning, like maybe like noonish, 11:30. Up, down, up, right is the cheat code for the dungeon map. They all have a cheat code. Okay, so here is the giveaway. So I'm going to give away the full figure here. Now, just know this. The head is by Josh Brown, okay? Josh Brown does sculptures, has a shop. So Josh Brown Toys, and he's in the chat here. He can correct whatever I get wrong here. Josh Brown Toys is his Instagram, and Josh Brown Customs is his website. Okay, does awesome work, some great stuff, and he sent me a bunch of stuff, no strings attached. He didn't say, "Can you promote" or anything, but I loved it. I got to share, like I got to hook people up and like show them like, you know, who's out there, right? So that is the head sculpt from Josh Brown, and then the shield is from Jared is Rocket Fist Custom. I think his name's Jared. Hold on, let me just double check. From Rocket Fist Customs over here, it is Jared Smith. Okay, and I guess they work together a little bit, so I thought I would kind of like do this together. And so this is a shield that does peg in to the arm here. Like if you can kind of see, it pegs into those like arm ports there. And the reason why I wanted to do the shield, so the head is an unpainted 3D print, and but the shield is like you can just pop it on a figure and use it, right? So I thought I would do that so that even if you're not into customizing, you kind of get something out of this giveaway. The figure is going to come with it too. I don't think I have all the rest of the stuff with the Sentry, but like this body, this Sentry is going to come with it. If I can find some more stuff, I'll throw it in there. But that's going to be the giveaway. So a Josh Brown head sculpt, a Rocket Fist shield, and then the figure with the rifle. But yeah, it's cool. It's like a mechanical.
That's an awesome sculpt. I like that. Yeah.
It's sweet. And he sent me some other stuff too. Some really cool stuff. Like, I have that. Where is it? It's kind of out of reach, but yeah, some other. He sent me a bunch of other cool stuff. As did Rocket Fist. So I'm not just giving away everything they gifted me. I keep keeping some stuff for myself to paint up. Shout out to Offworld After Party tomorrow night, and we have Steph on Saturday Day Live, Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will be on the after show tomorrow night with the Offworld guys, and I think Trevor. There's a whole bunch of people going to be on that to kind of like break down, react to the reveal, and so I just got to set up the giveaway here. Give me 1 second to just set up the giveaway. I'm going to do, let's see, I gotta do the giveaway tool. Choose your live stream, put in the hashtag. We'll go with that. And then I want to put it, and then I want to put that over here in the banner. Enter. Whoops, not that. It's the old one. Let's see. I'm calling it a custom Cosmic Legions figure. I mean,
that's what I would think.
It's technically a custom Cosmic Legions figure, but it's a custom head sculpt and a custom shield, and then I'm throwing in a body just to go with it. So let me save that and start the comments and put this in there. So enter Cosmic Custom in the chat for a chance to win a custom Cosmic Legions figure. And again, even if you don't do customs and you get this unpainted head, at least you're still getting like a body and a shield that you can just use on anything. You don't have to do anything with the shield. And if you wanted, you could re-gift the head, or you could ask someone to paint it for you or whatever. So like this is for everyone. Don't feel like you got to be a customizer to win this, even though the head's unpainted. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let those flow in, and we will jump into some more news. So here we go. This was a talking point last week. This is the Loose Collector Death Dealer and Horse, which looks
also known as the cover of the 1978 Molly Hatchet album.
Yeah, right. Yep.
No, really, it was that
I
shot
know.
before. That's the cover, man. That's awesome. They did a great
Yeah, I
job.
know. I don't have I don't have that album, but I always come across it at flea
Yeah,
markets. Like I always see it in there. I'm like, should I just buy this, even though I don't care about
it'd
that
make a
part?
cool backdrop if you had a bunch of Death Dealer figures.
Yeah, it's true. Um, yeah. So it's a 7-inch figure and then a horse. The horse is it's bigger even than a Mythic Legions horse, but the price is the sticking point, and that was the source of a lot of the conversation. So, like, if you think about other figures, like a loose collector 7-inch figure might be 70, $80, maybe $100 for the figure. That would mean the horse would be $250 for the horse, and you look at like a Legion's horse, which is like $70. It's hard to make that leap, right? Like it's really hard to make that leap. They did post about it, and they talked about how this is a unique situation. It's a very small run. It's something that the licensing is causing a lot of price issues with, and this is like sort of we couldn't do it unless we did it for this price type of situation. We'll let the buyers decide, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see if it. I don't. They sounded like they might not go to production if enough people don't order it. So I don't know if they have a deal with Big Bad Toy Store who has it, or in the other shops who might have it. But
How does that work with licensing? Didn't Mezco, weren't they the ones that did a Death Dealer last year, the year before?
yeah, they have their Death Dealer. I do think there's two.
Is it just
You
something
have,
that the Frazetta estate does, or how does
but
that
there's two
work?
sides of that estate, and I think both sides have licensing. They can license out either
Okay.
one. And like the Sarah Frazetta side of it, the Frazetta girls side of it, they're doing their own figures now, and
Oh, are
they're
they
still
really?
licensing stuff out. But like I think they'll do a Death Dealer as well because they did that. They did that Dark Wolf, and then they have
Yeah.
the Tigra figure coming. So yeah, I mean, like I don't really know what's going on. I think this is through the Frazetta Museum or like the other side of the family, but let's see what the chat's saying. His arms almost the size of his waist. Yeah, yeah, the proportions. People are saying the proportions are pretty wacky here.
They're a bit
Um,
dramatic.
yeah, and it could be some posing.
I don't
Like
know. Looking at it and the way we've gotten spoiled on how they put figures together and how everything looks so anatomically correct, and how while joints are not seamless, they're very. This reminds me a lot more of those later Toy Biz Marvel Legends before the license with Hasbro that had like 763 points of articulation.
right.
That's kind of what that reminds me of.
I kind of get almost a little bit of Masterverse vibe off of this, slightly like the thinner
Mm,
torso and the bigger arms, whereas you
I get,
expect that
yeah, I
torso
guess
to
I could
be a
see
little
that.
bigger. Um, it's fully articulated. There's some looks at the horse. It does not have the same range. It does not have the same articulation as a Legion's horse. It has lesser articulation. So the neck is a hinge. You see that? You can see the hinge
Yeah,
on the neck. On a Legion's horse, it's a ball joint up there. Um, and I think the four legs. I don't have a horse within reach. I think the front legs on a Legion's horse are. Oh, maybe those are hinges too on a Legion's horse. But I think the neck is not the same. Um, but yeah, I mean it looks cool, but like there's absolutely zero chance of me paying $350 for this.
no, that's a lot of cheese for that.
Yeah. Oh, so there are three sides of the estate. This was licensed by Frank Frazetta Jr., which is separate from Frazetta Girls and Frazetta Museum. Okay, so
That's
there's
not
three
confusing at
sides.
all.
And not like, Rosedale, maybe you know this. Is it right? Am I right in assuming that all three sides can license out all the same stuff, essentially, if they want? But yeah, I mean, it's expensive. the model kit that's available is way more. Kevin Dufresne with the $5 super chat to break the silence. Really hope that for Thor 2.0 or version 2, haven't had a reissue. Has always been a rare dwarf. Yeah, I think Thor is up there. Again, it's a Wave 1 Kickstarter figure. It's never been reissued. It's a central character. He's the brother of the king. There's a lot going on with that character, and I think that is definitely I think it would be a very worthy version too. Character rights are divided even. So Frazetta girls don't have Death Dealer.
Huh.
The underbite on the horse makes me uncomfortable. Is it an underbite, or is it just because that the bridle is in the way? I don't know.
I was gonna say that bridle's pulled back awfully tight, maybe. I don't know.
Bronzer. I spoke with Frazetta Museum at ZoloCon, and it sounded like they said each part of the estate licenses different things. Museum did Mezco Death Dealer, but Frazetta Girls did Mezco Conan. So if Museum did Mezco Death Dealer, and Frazetta Jr. did this, then it would suggest that there's some overlap, at least some kind of overlap. And I think this is the same bronzer that I hung out with at Shop the Curiosity. All right. Different appearance of Death Dealer. Okay. That makes sense. Different art, based on different art.
Yeah.
So you've got maybe the Mesco one is this Death Dealer is doing
yeah,
this move,
because there are a couple of them.
This Death Dealer is the horse, is the
horse from the album
horse.
cover. Yeah.
Okay, let's linger on this speculation. This is kind of getting a little boring. Okay. Let's do the drawing. Let's see how many we got in here. So let me share this tab and pull it off. All right, Cosmic Custom, we got 46 people. Give it another couple seconds, just as a reminder. Enter Cosmic Custom in the chat for a chance to win a custom Cosmic Legions figure. And when I say custom, it's I did zero work. A couple people sent me some amazing pieces, and I popped them on a body, and I'm going to send it to you. A couple more people in there. Josh Brown, who donated the head, has been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for all your support, man. I really appreciate it. All right. Get them in. I'm going to spin it. Yeah, good odds. Absolutely. Cloud's been a member for 12 months.
Nice.
I believe that is the full. I think that is the most you could be from at this point. So we're a year in, right? We're a year into memberships.
Doesn't feel like that long.
No, it never does. No, Carlos, I'm not getting that Death Dealer unless it drops in price. Maybe a clearance, maybe a big bad clearance or something. But oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention. Josh is doing a discount on his site. So if you go to Josh Brown Customs and you buy something, and when you're at checkout, if you enter DORKLAIR, you get 20% off. I had meant to mention that. He had told me that earlier. Each member of Frazetta got different IPs. Okay. The wheel must go around all the way. I have no control of the wheel. I just click the button. There's no wheel.
Don't let him fool you. He's got his thumb on the scales.
Even if I say wheel, there's no wheel. We got to go half.
Yeah,
Dibs
but who
on
gets
the
who gets which
figure.
part?
You can take the horse.
All right, I'll have another horse for my Dark Knight shelf. Speaking of which, there's another horse that's
That
coming
actually.
out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
looks good. The
Mafex one.
Mathex, yeah, that's supposed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
draw. I think that is in my pile of loot. In fact, I think it's in my pile of loot. I got the McFarlane horse for that shelf, the Build a Horse, but the Mafex one looks really, really good. I'm excited for that.
Oh, Rob Zamora is saying it's been, so that would be 1 year, 30 days.
There you go.
Oh, okay, so it is 12 months. It's 12, so it's about to become 1 year plus at this point, right? We're about to, so it's actually been a year and a month now. And then Steph says 11 months that she's been a member. All right. I think we're good. We're going to spin this. I'm going to pull the banner down because I will forget. And I'm going to hide that. And then, as always, if you win, just email me at podcast@dorklair.com and I will get this shipped out to you probably by Saturday morning. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the person who put the comment in last? That always seems to happen. It is TJ Williams.
Not the
Nice.
last.
Congratulations. I don't think TJ's ever won anything on
I
this
don't think
channel.
so.
TJ Trevor's brother. Sweet, TJ. Just shoot me an email and I will get this out to you. All right, let me pull it down. Pull this back up. And thanks again to Jared and Josh for sending all those parts out. I got a lot of fun stuff, and then also was able to do this giveaway courtesy of those guys. And go support them. Go check out. So Josh Brown Customs. I don't know if it's just straight up joshbrowncustoms.com, but I'm sure if you just Google Josh Brown Customs, you'll find his site. And then Rocket Fist Customs has if you go to their Instagram, which again is, let me just go back here. Let me go back up to it. Up here, Rocket Fist _customs. They have an eBay shop where you can shop for their stuff too. And the link is in their bio. Okay, so this was another one, and I think this was the one that this was like the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. I'm like overwhelmed by TMNT stuff. But JoyToy is doing something related to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, these just look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, there's a few little things in the image that suggest that there's some mechanical stuff going on. And it does say #ToyMecha, and it does say #Mecha. So I think there's something like, these aren't like, okay, here's your movie turtles, or here's your cartoon turtles, or here's your comic turtle. Like, I don't think it's going to be a specific like.
Those silhouettes look thicker. Like they look. There's something that looks different about them than the typical silhouettes.
They look kind of jacked, right?
I wonder if it's from the. Didn't Michael Bay produce a Turtles movie a few years ago, and we really haven't had anything from that? Do you think it could be something to do with that?
Well, I looked at those, and those didn't have knee pads.
Ah, okay.
So I don't think it's
look
that.
Closely enough. Okay.
I think with including the #ToyMecha and Mecha, I feel like there's going to be something here. JoyToy does like 1/18 scale figures and then like mechs and stuff. So who knows? Like, it could be like a 1/18 turtle and then a turtle mech. Like, I have no clue.
1/18 is what, 3 3/4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4-inch. Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it is. Maybe they'll reveal it at like San Diego Comic-Con or something.
That's interesting. I mean, the silhouettes alone look different enough to be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like their own interpretation. Yeah, they look like oh wait, but if you actually kind of, I tried to look up as many as I could. Like
Was
still,
that when the
some of
Michael
it's
Bay movie was '08?
I
Was that when
I
the?
think I think oh 08 is one of the like a Nickelodeon
Oh,
cartoon,
okay.
I
There's so
believe.
many iterations; it's impossible to keep up with.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm not an expert, so
No, I'm far from it.
um, JoyToy Warhammer 40K are amazing. I've talked about this before. I went to Chris from Chris Khan's house for one of his get-togethers. He has the most amazing toy basement. It's freaking it's mind-blowing. And he has a bunch of them. And and like that was the first time I saw those, and they are the paintwork on those. It looks like, when you go on YouTube and you watch somebody doing like Warhammer like miniatures painting,
Yeah.
and they just look incredible. They look like that. They got to be hand painted like they are. Um, they're amazing. And whatever they do with turtles is probably gonna be awesome. I know um, Trevor and Nate, they collect some of the Joy Toy mech type stuff. And yeah, I know a lot of people really love Joy Toy, especially that Warhammer stuff. Um, we got a new member, Wraith Mace, and we've got Tanya McCoy for 12 months. Thank you, Wraith, and thank you, Tanya. It was so nice hanging out with Tanya and Stacy on the ladies last week. It was a great episode. So many turtles. 1/18 scale at 1/12 price. They are amazing though, so not knocking it. Yeah, they will. Yeah, I mean, Joy Toy 1/18 stuff is not cheap. Just go to Big Bad and you'll see. They have sales sometimes, but let's see. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the miniature painting videos is like a really great way to just learn how to paint figures. My pleasure, Tanya. Yeah, and this is a thing. Like a lot of people are like, "Yep, turtles are oversaturated right now." Like there is absolutely an oversupply of turtles. It's like the reverse of like 10 years ago. It's like the turtles everywhere now.
Yeah, it's like whoever owns that license is selling it to everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's Nickelodeon, right?
I think
Or who
so.
owns Nickelodeon? Somebody owns
I'm
Nickelodeon,
not
I'm
sure
sure.
about that.
Um, I think this is the final thing. So we've got Mezco Doc Ock. This is like straight out of the comics from the 60s, right? Like this,
Yeah,
just
it
look at
really
this.
is.
It's so cool.
I mean, I expect that dude to come to life and kill Gwen Stacy's dad.
And do like weird things with his with the
Yeah,
arms,
I'm curious
like
how those tentacles
like
are going to
fly.
work.
He
Yeah.
like in the comics where he would like, I don't know if he ever did this, but like I feel like he would have them spinning around and he would like fly or something crazy.
I think he did that in the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon.
But yeah, I mean, it's a Mezco drop. Some people are saying they feel like the 112 price on this one feels high compared to some of the like $85-$90 figures. It's probably all in, like the extra
Wow.
prices and all those tentacles, right? So
That's a lot of tentacle extensions.
yeah, and a lot of different options for the claws on the ends
I
of
hope
it.
whoever buys this thing has an easier time getting that sucker to stand up on his tentacles than I did with that Marvel Legends No Way Home Doc Ock. I still could never get that thing to stand up on his tentacles. They would always bend back and you'd end up
Yeah,
falling down.
yeah. Looks a bit underweight. Yeah, maybe. Looks a little thin. The photos, I wish I had put up some of the like glamour shots because it did look really cool on a lot of the posed shots, and this might not be doing it. Green on green might not be like doing it justice. It's like it looks faded too to me, right? Like
Yeah, it
that's because it's
does.
on a green background. But yeah, this is like straight out of the comics, straight out of the classic comics. To go with the classic Spider-Man and the classic Green Goblin and a couple others. Yeah, this is the kind of like the Mezco thing, right? Like the body and the shape and everything of it, like just standing here in a neutral pose. totally has that like.
When I looked at this, I mean, not to disparage for whoever. I mean, I'm sure this thing will sell out, but I look at this and I'm like, that's what kept me from buying Mezcos for so long.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to look great when you pose it up and you have it with your other Spider-Man classic figures. It's going to look like a classic comic. But
yeah,
it's definitely like, it's hard to look at this and be like, oh, that's super appealing. You got to really like put your mind in like what it is. But yeah. Oh yeah, one more. So it does have a lab coat there with the arms coming off.
That'll look better with a lab coat. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they came out of his sides, like in those old comics, but maybe not. Yeah, that's it. That's all our news. Nice, quiet little
thin week, really thin week.
I'm sure there's some other stuff, but I feel like things have settled down. Like I was so busy leading up to the Figura stuff, and obviously like nobody could really know that I was like recording that week, but like I had that going on. It was a bit of a shorter window, and then I had a bunch of like my daughter's performing arts events, like end of year type performing arts events. I had multiple waves of other things like Cosmic Wave 3. I had Savage Crucible Wave 1, which those two I still haven't gotten back to yet. I got to get back to reviewing those. And then I had a drop from Axie Toys. They had sent me something, and it just happened to, the t-shirts came, like everything was just like hitting
all at once
over and over again. And that was just wearing me out. But now I feel a little more relaxed. I can see the end of the tunnel for summertime with the school year coming up. I mean, we really only have 2 weeks left. Tomorrow's Friday, and our last day is Monday the 17th. So we have these next 2 weeks, and then I'm done. But yeah, things have settled down, he says, before a mystery reveal. But I don't have to do anything for the big mystery reveal. Like I don't have a role to play, really. I'm gonna go on a show and be very passively like talking about it, and I will spend 2 to 3 weeks probably figuring out what I want to order. That's a nice thing about it. Like everybody's ready to be like, broke tomorrow night, but like it's gonna be a month-long pre-order. Pace yourself. Don't wait to the very end though, because then you'll be like, I just had this, and then the next thing will drop. But go like mid-June if you want to like kind of pace yourself. Slink says that Mesco Doc Ock looks whack as F.
I wasn't going to be that mean, but he's not wrong.
I think,
but like you said, it looks 1960s.
Straight out of the comics.
It does. It looks very 1960. What 2, 3, 4? Who was the artist back then? Was it?
I want to say Romita was like.
I think it was Romita. Yeah, John Romita.
A couple years in there.
Yeah, Romita, and then Buscema was after him. Buscema, not Sal Buscema, but his dad. It was classic. Like he just defined everything that Spider-Man would look like. He was awesome, that dude. Yeah. And so many of those artists you look at from back in the 60s, their stuff doesn't hold up. All of Romita's stuff holds up. It's awesome.
That's like my favorite kind of comics to read, beyond like even stuff today. Like I can't sometimes wrap my head around current stuff.
Everything now is designed either to be a 6-issue arc so they can sell it in a trade, or it's X-Men and you have to buy every issue of 14 different comics for 3 years to get the whole story. There's no in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love going back to those old. Yeah, I love going back to those old, like the old Amazing, the old Spectacular. I've got some old Batman graphic novels, like the Greatest Batman, the Greatest Joker stories, and everything. Yeah. You just got or once in a while you'd have a 2-parter, but it was really nice when they could tell a nice, concise story, and get it right in.
And just awesome, like it's so much more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel like now they take 1 or 2 issues worth of story and they stretch it out to 6, like I said, so they can make that trade, and everything suffers. The art suffers, the dialogue suffers, the story suffers, and It's just been an inferior product over the last few years, I'm sad to say.
Yeah, the question of how the tentacles function, that's one. Are they wires? Like if
That's
that's
what I
gonna
was asking myself when I was looking at them. Are they wired or is it something else?
Valaverse Series 5, we did mention one figure from, I think, from Series 5 last week. Gonna break my wallet on Valaverse Series 5 first, then I'll have to come back for more Mythics and Cosmic. Yeah, because that's probably part of like this. I think June is like Joe month or something, right? And then
Yeah, Yojo
Fest
June.
is
Yeah.
coming up, and Valaverse will be doing stuff, and Hasbro will be doing stuff, and
It's just too hard to keep up with everything. Like I said, it's a great time to be a collector for everything except for your wallet.
yeah.
I mean, you can see behind me. I've cleared those shelves off and moved all of my Mondo stuff in here because I'm out of space in the main room.
Right. I have such a mess. I've been trying like this. Hopefully this summer I can find the time to clean and organize. Like I mentioned it last week on the Legions ladies, but I just have like trays like this
Oh yeah,
just everywhere of like
I have.
disassembled Legions, just tons of them.
I've got stuff sitting around that needs to be put up. I've got shelf space that needs to be rearranged. I've got stuff that needs to be put on eBay. But if I take a day, if I get a day, I either need to work on that garage or get the cabinets put up in the laundry room. Otherwise, I'm going to get smothered in my sleep. So I'm not going to take that chance. Steve Wagling said that the current Fantastic Four run, he's absolutely right. I'm reading that right now. And even though there's like ongoing stuff underneath, most of those stories are fitting in one or two issues, and it is
how
good.
Deep are they? How many issues in are they?
I think it's on issue 20, 19 or 20, something like that.
Okay.
I've got that
so
Marvel Limited, like you said.
Okay, so they'll be in there. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's how I'm keeping up with them. It's absolutely worth the read. The Alex Ross covers, and I can't remember who's doing the interior art, but it's absolutely top to bottom art and story. It's my favorite thing I'm reading right now. Just story wise, I think the G.I. Joe Transformers relaunch is awesome stories, but the art is pretty garbage. So it kind of feels like DC in the late 80s, early 90s when they had the best stories, but you had to go to Marvel for the best art. And it wasn't until Image came out that you got a little bit of both.
Right. So hello, my name is says anyone else feeling FOMO on Savage Crucible? I don't think it's too late on Savage Crucible. I think you're gonna have the in stock sale coming up. Maybe in a couple weeks they're gonna do the in stock sale. So just like follow their socials. Like you should still be able to get the Savage Crucible stuff. Unless what you're saying is you're tempted to buy even though you didn't want to originally buy. In that case, yeah, I recommend them. They're pretty good. 5K Toys is supposed to have a Metal Gear Snake coming out too. Interesting. There were Amazon listings for Spin Master PlayStation Line 2-pack of Last of Us main characters. And another male character from Horizon series. Kratos from God of War and Atreus. Interesting. Is God of War? Yeah, God of War was a PlayStation exclusive title, right? One of the few games, yeah, from God of War. One of the few. I don't even want to say modern. It's like it's not even modern anymore. Like sort of, one of the last games I played, I guess I could say, when I was still playing video games before my daughter was born. But the goal is, get her more and more into it. She's into the Switch, and then we can start playing games together. Mobius Joe, I ordered a bunch of Savage Crucible figures after I got mine in hand. Nice. I actually have a plan. I've been kind of waiting for some more that I ordered from the in stock, not from the in stock, from the pre-sales. But I have a stack of cards from Savage Crucible that I am going to do. I want to open them on a video, but I'm waiting for more. So I think I have like 20 or so, and I'm gonna open more of those when I get. I think I'm getting like 6 or 7 more in hand. So I want to wait till they're all here. And another recent pickup, I guess, is I did get this cheapo little binder, but it's perfect for the Savage Crucible cards. So there's that. So what I'm going to do is, if I can, try to collect 2 of each. So have them facing. Ideally, I'd like to have the foil front facing, and then have the stat sheet on the back of the non-foil facing this way. But it's looking like the foils aren't going to be really possible for me to get. They're super hard to find. I don't even want to mention how many figures I have on pre-order at 5K. That's like my 4 Horsemen thing. Like if I were to count up how much I have on pre-order from 4 Horsemen, but luckily that stuff's all paid for, so it's not gonna ever like hit me. And Tony, yeah, we talked about the JoyToy Turtles stuff. They look like they're probably gonna be some kind of mech, or maybe mech and rider, mech and pilot type situation, or I don't know. But like, the hashtags are kind of hinting towards mech stuff, mecha stuff. But like we said, JoyToy does some awesome work, so I'm sure whatever it is going to look great. All right. Okay, let's wrap this one up. So next week, the Legions ladies will be on Thursday night at 7:30. At 9 o'clock, there'll probably be like a half-hour overlap, but at 9 o'clock, I am going to go on. Jesse DeStasio is going to come on from Toy Pizza, and he's going to share all about his Toy Pizza Expo. That's going to be going on, and I think it's towards the middle or end of September. And thanks again to everybody with the super chats. Congratulations to TJ on winning the custom figure and the custom parts. Thanks again to Josh and Jared for donating those parts and kind of allowing me to have some good stuff to give away today. Something a little different and a little more unique than usually like give away just like a figure or a pin or something. But yeah, so thanks everybody. Larry?
Have a good night, guys. Hopefully next time I'll have a bigger haul.
All right, everybody. Until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me.